Okay, so let's take a look at a problem of the day. And this problem is called pear pressure. Today we're going to be given a fruit class, and from this we will subclass fruit to make both a lemon and a pear class. The fruit class has the following fields. We'll take a look at the file. It has a peel, which is Boolean, and we can see that in the UML diagram below. We've got color, which is a string, and it's going to hold the color of the outside of the fruit. So the peel is going to be Boolean. It's going to tell us if we can eat the skin. It will be set to false, so we don't have to peel it. And if we must peel the fruit, it will be set to true. So we see it has a constructor, fruit in our example in the UML diagram, and it has 5 methods: get color, get peel, set color, set peel, the getters and setters, and then it also has a toString method. And that's a really useful method to learn about, so we'll take a look at that. Our main method will be given the following input: a string, which is the fruit type, so it will either be pear or lemon. We will have a Boolean, so true or false, to tell us whether or not we should peel the skin, and then we'll have a string which will give us the skin color of the fruit. So the plan for how we're going to tackle this: we're going to create a pear subclass, and we're going to set up the subclass so that the new pear objects are set to have the peel set to false and the color set to green. So we know that pears can come in different shades, but we're going to set it like that. So let's take a look at what we started with, and we'll come back to the step after that. So here's our fruit class. We can see it has a few key fields or attributes. As we were told in the UML diagram, we've got a Boolean peel and a string color. And we have a constructor method, which is just that method that is called when we want to create a new fruit. And so we can see that it says sets peel to true and color to null. It has the getters and setters that were described, and then we have a toString. And we can see this is what happens if we try to print output a fruit. What happens is it calls up that toString method, and then we see in this first line we create a string, and then if we have to peel it, then we see that it says peel, yes, you must peel. Otherwise, if it's false, the string is concatenated with peel, no skin, no, the skin is edible. And then finally, in either situation, the color is given, and then that gets returned. So we'll see in the calling method, so in our main method for the problem of the day, we see we're going to read in, we build out a scanner, so on that first line. Then we have a few things. We're going to read in the type of the fruit. The first word will be either pear or lemon. That will be the type of the fruit. And then we're going to read in on that next line, next Boolean. So it will be a true or false that comes after that, and that will be held in the Boolean variable peel skin. Then we're going to read in a string in .next, and then we're going to create a new fruit variable. And if the string that tells us if it was a pear or lemon is set to pear, we're going to initialize that new fruit to be a pear, and otherwise it will be a lemon. Now, none of this will work right now because we haven't created the pear or lemon subclasses, but once we do, this is the file that will run, and we'll take a look at the output. The output is first the fruit type, and then we're going to output new fruit. And when this happens, remember, new fruit is of type fruit. So what happens in this case when you output an object like that, this main method calls up the fruit class. It looks for the method called toString, and whatever it returns right back to where we called it from. And so as we can see, we're building out a string that will describe the the fruit itself. And in fact, we see there's this /n, that new line character. And so this is going to cover more than one line, which is, then we can see we read in, we had read in also peel skin and skin color. So a Boolean variable, we'll read in a Boolean value to peel skin, and we'll read in another string, this updated skin color, into the string variable skin color. Then we're going to call up the fruit, whichever fruit we have, a pear or a lemon, and we're going to look for the set peel and set color methods, and that's going to update both the peel, whether or not we peel the skin, and the skin color. And then we're going to call that toString method again and output what we have. So now that we have that, remember that our first objective is to create a pear subclass. So I've got the pear file, and the only thing that we have to do, I forgot what we do. The peel is set to false and the color is set to green, right? So to be a subclass, what that means is a pear is a fruit. And when you have a is a relationship like that, then we're looking at using the extends. And so pear extends fruit. A pear is a fruit. And so what we can do, so that's a form of polymorphism. And the only thing that we have to update is that constructor method, because everything else about the fruit will be the same. We can keep the same toString. We're not asked to update get peel, get color, set peel, set color. All of that should hold true. But what we need is a constructor method. And so in this case, this is a public method that always has the same name as the class itself. And in this case, we're going to set the attributes of the pear. And what's fun about this is where in the fruit class, we actually had these attributes set. So the Boolean peel and the string color. In the pear, we didn't have to include any of that. And that all took place because of that extends. So our pear extends the fruit class. The pear is a fruit. And so it has with it a peel, which we're going to set to false. We were asked to set it to false. And we also have a color. And in this case, we were asked to, by default, set a pear to green. And we can still update it and work with it. And when we do so, we can use the getters and setters associated with the fruit class. And when we print it, if we output it, we'll use the toString associated with the pear class. So let's take a look what else we're asked to do. So that part is done. We created the pear subclass with one very simple few lines. Next, we want to create a lemon subclass. And we're going to set up the subclass so that the lemon objects are set up to have the peel set to true. We should peel a lemon. And the color set to yellow. So we'll open that lemon file. And to make it a subclass of fruit, we use that word extends. And it's going to extend our fruit. And because of that, now we're going to create the constructor method. And that's a public method. It has the same name, lemon. We don't need to pass it any arguments because we have everything we need. We know that its peel is going to be set to true, and color will be set by default to yellow. I think this is everything it's asked of us. And then it says, the format of the output is given to you. So that's all set up in the main method by the toString method in the fruit.java object class. This will be used by the main method in pod.java right up here, and it will output the default version of the new object followed by the updated version as we saw when we looked through. So we see in this example, and I'm just going to copy that sample input, if we receive pear, true, purple, the first thing that outputs is the default pear. So by default, the way that we've set it up, it should set out It should say we have a pear, and the skin, we don't have to peel it. The skin is edible. The color is green. Then we're going to update it with true. So peel should be set to true, and color is purple. And once that happens, it will say peel, yes, you must peel, and color is set to purple. And that's the end of the output. Okay, so let's try running it. When we update our files and I send it pear, true, purple, what we see is we get the default pear, the skin is edible, and the color is green. And then once it's updated, and remind ourselves in this file, the way it's updated, we receive that peel skin Boolean value of true that we pass it, and the color of purple. Then after we created that new lemon or pear fruit, we actually call new fruit.setPeel to the peel skin and Boolean value, and new fruit.setColor. So we call both setters, set peel and set color. And what we see is that we didn't have to set those for pear or lemon. And that's because both extend the fruit class. So fruit is the superclass, lemon, pear are the subclass. If we look in here, we see that set peel and set color are associated with a fruit. And so by default, we have access to those as lemon and pear extend the fruit class. So that's what happened when we ran it. We can run it a few more times and just make sure our lemon class works. We can run it, and this time we can say lemon. And we know that by default, actually let's just call it true and purple again, just to see what happens. So we have a purple lemon. So when it first ran the constructor method, we had to peel the lemon and the color was set to yellow. After we updated it to true and purple, we still had to peel the lemon, but the color was purple. Let's just go ahead and run it again. And this time we'll say lemon, and we say, oh, this time you can eat the skin, it's okay. And we'll see if I know how to spell chartreuse. So this time the skin is edible. Don't eat. I wouldn't suggest eating it like an apple, but the color is now chartreuse. And that is the end of our POD for the day. So we can smile and move on. Happy coding.